Hello, and welcome to our coverage of the Ultimatum Queer Love Season 2. We are here to talk about episodes 2 through 6. Oh my gosh, there's so much to get into. I have so many thoughts, so I cannot wait to talk about it. Of course, I'm not here alone. I'm here with my two lovely co-hosts. First up, we have Dr. Evvie Jagoda. How are you?
I'm doing great. Lesbians are so freaking messy. This is going to be so fun. I can't wait to talk about it.
It's just like, how did they know that this season was just gonna be gold? They
Because
didn't, but
lesbians are perfect for this premise. It's just perfect.
it's beautiful. Uh, to round us out, we also have Mary Kwiatkowski. Mary, how are you?
I'm doing great. I love that right when Evvie said lesbians are messy, I also managed to be messy and just click a button on StreamYard that changed the background. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did.
Every time we say
though.
lesbians are messy, the podcast goes, "Whoa."
It does, yeah. It's like a nice little call and response. I'm doing great. I think I'm here 6 episodes in. I feel like this is the closest we've ever been on the Ultimatum to maybe having the premise of the show happen. To where who was it Megan who said I'm not here to ride off into the sunset with someone else. I don't remember who said that, but I'm like some people might be.
Right. Exactly. I don't know why as soon as you said Mary, when you're like, I'm here, I wanted to say, and Evvie and I are queer. And it just sounded like it fit.
If I started the podcast, hi, I'm Mary Kwiatkowski. I'm here, and my co-hosts are queer.
Joanna Swisher.
No notes. Our own Joanna Swisher. Yeah. I thought Joanna brought a little more this episode in the changeover.
Yeah, a tiny bit.
A tiny bit more.
She seemed a little less
all
nervous.
We can ask.
That's all we can ask.
That's all we can ask.
She's found her groove. You know, that's her space. Just come in when there's a table, and
she's really there to tamper down drama.
Well,
whoa, lady.
Okay, well, yeah, exactly.
We'll get to it, but I feel like there was a strong contender of a person in this episode for who I also think could take over the hosting role.
Okay, fun.
Yeah, we'll get to it eventually.
Oh, I can't wait. Okay, I have some theories.
Yeah. I mean, even on that point, just the way, like the whoa, ladies, come on. Yeah, it's like wait,
no, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, can we not move on? Actually,
my least favorite thing is when, like, on these shows, there's a group of people fighting, and then the host is just or arguing or whatever, getting loud, and then the host is like, "Okay, there's a lot of emotions," and I'm like, "This is the premise. This is what you did this,
and
you
actually
created these."
I want you to hush, actually.
And that how that's bad hosting. Andy Cohen's not doing that. Jeff Probst's not doing that. Those guys are going in. They're like, whoa.
Tell me more about this.
Yeah, it seems like you're feeling really charged. Tell me about that. That's what Jeff's doing,
Oh my gosh. Well, if you are here and you missed our
this is a podcast about Joanna
Swisher Garcia, I believe. We did cover the premiere. If you missed our coverage on that, go check that out. We also dived into who all of these people were in a separate podcast. We will be rounding it out with one last podcast about season 2, episodes 7 through 10, to complete our coverage on this season. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed. That's where you can get all of our podcasts for the Ultimatum and shows like Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, Perfect Match. Make sure you subscribe to Love at First Sight feed and also the RHAP YouTube channel. We know that there are a lot of names. When I watched episodes 2 through 6, I watched them with my mom, and it was her second watch, and she still was like, wait, who is Mel with? I was like, Mom, this is your second go round. How did you not remember?
There's also a cast of 8 people, and 4 of them are M names.
That's what I was about to say. Because everyone's name is like something.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yep.
true. Yes, I can't blame her. I am watching and taking notes, so I'm well aware who they are. But yes, if you subscribe to the RHAP, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I swear at one point Mel called someone Maria, and I'm scrolling through my notes being like, which one? Is it Maria or Marita? Because there's no Maria. Who are we talking about?
Right. Yeah, if you say Marita too fast, it is Maria.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will be having the pictures here on the RJP YouTube channel. So make sure you come watch over on YouTube if you're listening to audio only. We have a lot of ground to cover. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So we did finish the first drop. Or the premiere actually, with a big cliffhanger with Dana and Megan. Did y'all, when this started, episode 2, did y'all think they're gonna leave?
I thought at the end of episode 1, I thought they'd leave. I think the fact that they came back and like basically once they repeated the sentence that was in the end of episode 1, but then continued to have a conversation and the music like calmed down a little bit, I was like, that's fine. They're gonna be here.
Yeah, I really agree. Somehow the scene starting, I was like, oh, this is gonna be fine. Yeah,
right.
But I do feel that really, it's like, I feel like this always happens, that someone goes into one of these shows, whether it's like Temptation Island or this, that is like so confident about their partner, will always want them. Like, which is funny because obviously Dana gave Megan the ultimatum, but I feel like it never occurred to Dana that Megan would be interested in someone else. Like, and so,
that's what blew my mind. I'm
always
like,
happens.
Do you know what you're asking for by staying? Like, you gotta understand, there's a very real possibility things could go awry. But Dana was able to convince Megan to stay, and it just kind of set the tone for their journey.
Right. Yeah. Not a sign of a good, healthy dynamic setup where one partner is like in distress about this huge thing that you guys are doing, and the other one is just like, you made a commitment to me to do this. Yes. So I'm trying to hook up with Mel. So let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So we did finish the dating, or we had the dating portion in episodes like 2, 3-ish. So we kind of saw Pilar. We'll have the pictures when we start talking about all the trial marriages. So we talked about Pilar. So Pilar whose original partner is Haley. Pilar has a choice between Kyle and Bridget.
Yeah.
It was very clear that Pilar was like heading towards Kyle's direction, because I was getting friend vibes with Bridget.
Yeah, I agree with that. Pilar and Bridget were giving like besties, like
we're so similar. Yeah.
Yep. And like not, and also like kind of like there's nothing to necessarily like learn from this, because we'd be like the same, I guess. So yeah, it wasn't shocking. In general, by the way, do you feel that there was more? Like, was the dating portion more in this than the previous season? I feel like they made it seem like when they're at the choice, they're all like, when we went on our first date, blah, blah, blah. It's like, how long did that go on for? Like,
I think because in previous seasons of the Ultimatum, I always think like, oh, the dating is like one day, but it's not. I think it is like a week.
It's a week.
Okay. Yeah. They're just like letting us see it more.
We just saw more because we're hearing about people being like, I had on our 3rd date, on our 4th date. I'm like, whoa, how many dates are they going on with? A lot, apparently.
Right.
And I think it feels different this season as compared to last season, because people are really playing the field. I mean, mainly AJ. But AJ had multiple dates with multiple people.
Right.
Where usually people kind of can narrow it down, like, okay, in this group of 12 people, I may have
right? Isn't it 4 couples?
What's
no,
6 couples.
6, sorry, 12. Okay, 12.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry.
They're like these 12 people. Okay, they're a couple that I like, but really everyone's kind of like, look, everybody could get it.
It's so funny that on a show like this, you have so many people who in the dating stage hit it off so well, to where like usually out of the 5 to 6 couples, at least 2 couples will find someone that they are like really hitting it off well, even if it's not like a marriage thing, but just like have good chemistry with. And I'm like, why do shows like The Bachelor or even Love is Blind struggle to find people who really, really hit it off that well when on the Ultimatum, like they figure it out at least. I don't know. Somehow, maybe it's just because all these people are in relationships that they're just more used to being in relationships or something. But AJ's sweet spot is dating.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Well, I feel like I think there's something in what you said of the like, because they're not single, actually. These are all people that have been in relationships for a long period of time and are having just like the fun part of when you are in a relationship and then, oh, now I get to date again without the bad part of like actually breaking up with your partner. So like, because they're kind of, you know, they are quote unquote exes, but you know, for TV purposes. So like, I feel like people are just really freaking ready to go. I mean, AJ clearly was pent up. She is single as fuck, as she says.
Yeah,
you know?
she says.
And it's like, no, you're not, though. Like,
I thought this was AJ's villain origin story, which I think is going to be interesting to kind of talk about how just the progress or just how my feelings evolved about AJ over the course of these episodes. But right here, I was like, oh no. Like AJ is basically at this point who Mel it turns out to be to me.
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to say AJ is probably praying, like thanking her stars every day that Mel exists. Because she was set out to be the villain until Mel out-villained her.
And like we saw a little from the premiere of Mel, you know, the arm around, especially with Brittany, like having those conversations. And we were like,
the slow blinks.
Yes. But I think we did not realize that in a trial marriage situation, for some people, that flirtatiousness from the dating is going to only increase. And for other people, maybe the dating was the sweet spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it seems like, I mean, I know we're jumping ahead, but Marie was just not having it. Like once it's like, actually, like I feel like if AJ had picked Marita, we're talking a different story, I think, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or even like Dana. I don't know. But I do want to call out a date that AJ had with Bridget, where AJ and this is not verbatim, but everybody, if you watch, you know the quote. AJ said that AJ's mom has once asked like a lady that was dating AJ, oh, when you eat my daughter's whatever, do you enjoy it?
People
and that's
when I open with their parents.
Bring back secrets.
That's the kind of people that can do these shows. Because I'm always like, the truth is, I could do this show. I would be good in these situations. But I would never want my parents or seeing that, you know, or like anyone I work with or whatever. Like you have to have parents that are talking about to your partners about, you know, how they like eating your kitty cat.
The food you cook. Yeah. I just, oh my good. My whole body tensed up when I heard that. I couldn't believe it.
Maybe. Let me ask you this question. Let's philosophize for a second. Has Chaperone helped parents have these conversations?
Nice. Yes, that's a great question. You know, she's teaching us about giving. She's teaching us about receiving. It's open.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway. Also, I know we kind of blew past it. Well, we're talking about Bridget now. I figured out who Bridget looks like. There was someone who I'm watching Bridget talk, and I'm like, your voice, your mouth, like you look so recognizable. I don't know if this is going to be a reference that either of you know, but maybe someone in the audience will. There's a like an old school YouTuber. I think she's still YouTubes, but who's her name is Megan, and she went by Strawberry17. I don't know if this is going to hit for anybody. She was also on The Amazing Race with Joey Graceffa. No, not Joey Graceffa. Different Joey. A different Joey.
Somebody out there is like, yes, Mary.
Maybe it was Joey Graceffa. No, it is Joey Graceffa. Anyway, the two of them. So I don't know. Someone tell me in the audience if anyone knows who I'm talking about and whether or not you think that they remind you of Bridget. Anyway, that's just
Love it.
me.
Love it.
Yeah.
Needed to get that out
Yeah.
there. But yeah.
It's a perfect example of why AJ was so good at these things, because it's like, yeah,
Yes.
if you're just like bringing the sexual element to a conversation and everybody's there to like, you know, find a connection for like
Right.
the first couple dates, that can really work, of like, holy
Yeah.
shit, like we got so deep. Look at that prolonged eye contact. They brought up how their mom or how her mom loves to hear about her. It's just like, it really like
Yeah.
opens up. And she really was saying kind of verbatim lines to the same people.
Yeah,
like to different
literally.
people. It was giving Aubrey in Edge of Extinction, you know, like it's just like every person being like,
Yep.
you know, there's something here. I'm I'm afraid. Are you afraid? Like that's also the like, are you scared trope also was like coming up a lot. And just like, what if you
Yeah.
didn't have to be afraid, you know?
Right. Oh, yeah. AJ was something else. But I mean, this is where AJ like peaked. I mean, not peaked and not even peaked in like a great way, but just like peaked in drama.
Right.
So yeah, we did get that AJ drama at the cocktail party, which was very interesting. Because all the AJ's dating caught up to
Yeah.
her. And I don't know how she thought this was gonna go. I don't know if she either thought everybody was doing that, like dating everybody, or that they just wouldn't converse about who was, you know, in their top. Like I didn't know what AJ's plans were, especially heading into the choice. Like you didn't think like a couple of people's feelings were gonna get hurt?
I'd say it seems like they kind of seek to cast people who don't think about how this is a TV show that everyone will get to see later. And I think that's a recurrent problem with some of this cast. So I don't, you know, I will say Bridget, by the way, really, Bridget's a little bit of a game player. Bridget was like,
Yeah.
I'm about to get voted out and I'm going to secure
my backup plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Yeah.
I love that. And you know
Yeah.
what? But the funny thing is, it's like, what's the worst case scenario here? Like, you're not going home.
Right.
Right. You're getting someone.
Is Bridget and Marita, which seemed like honestly a lovely time, you know?
Yeah. And it was so funny that Bridget was doing like conversing with Pilar, like her new bestie, her newfound bestie about this. And Pilar's like, yeah, do it. Confront AJ.
That was something. The conversation. Could you imagine like what was Brittany thinking in that moment? That's what I kept thinking. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, because obviously, like during the choice, Brittany is like, oh, well, I understand that, you know, everybody's always so drawn to AJ. And I was like, wait, you kind of went besides the point. Like, they're not talking about how they all adore AJ. They're talking about what the manufactured confidence.
I feel that Brittany's really a real one. Like she was trying to like not throw her, like really was like nervous for her partner, was like, I'm going to protect her. And then I do think was like freaking out about what that was. Like, I think that was a big part of why she was so upset in the beginning of the trial marriage part. Like, of holy shit, is my partner gonna look like horrible on TV, and like what are we doing here? And you know, like I don't know. I just feel like that's definitely like an element. Like I think she's actually thinking about the consequences, I would say, along the way.
Yeah. But before we get to the choice, we also saw Mel having a choice between Dana and Brittany. Am I the only one so confused how like Dana was the easy choice over Brittany? Like what was the decision point there?
I was honestly so surprised by that one, because it really seemed like the entire like prelude, Mel's got her arm around Brittany.
Yes.
Like, and then it was like, it seems like she really likes the like, but Dana will push me. And it's like Dana like literally like called her out for like being a player basically. And like, yeah, I don't know. There's something like really intense about the two of them. They're both like get off on like the intensity and like conflict. And like, so I guess that's what that is. But Brittany is fucking stunning and like has her shit together.
But I think that's what it is. I think it's the having it together, because I look at Mel and Dana, and I think, I don't know how to describe this. It's sort of like, if you want to be messy and you see that someone else might be messy, then you can be messy together. Whereas Mel with Brittany, Mel was gonna have to
clean it up.
Tone it down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that's actually adding a theory for me that maybe that's why maybe AJ was gonna pick Marita, and then when all the conflict happened, then she was like, maybe I'll take a person who's a little less chaotic, maybe, and pick Marie. I don't know. Obviously, her and Marie had a big vibe the whole time, but I was pretty surprised by that one as well. Sorry, jump.
Yeah,
but
that's what the TikTok conspiracies are. Like, how is Brittany's no one's number one choice? Like, look at her. You would think easily. Like, people are like, oh my gosh, she's gorgeous, but that has to be it. Like, AJ has bragged about how much Brittany has to get together. So maybe that was like something that was intimidating for people. Intimidating in the sense that you have this person in front of you who you see has very little flaws, and you're like, wait, I need to do better. I need to get my own life in order. And it's just like not looking in a mirror, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that was a bulk of the dating and everything we had before. We did have Megan and Haley really hit it off on their date, which was like, oh, that's a lot right there.
Yeah, it seemed like they were really hitting it off because the two of them were like, we're so loyal. A little funny.
Yeah, right. So yeah, we get to the choice. Okay. And yeah, we got into AJ getting called out, but then we get to Pilar. Pilar makes her choice. Pilar, Kyle. Boom. We got our couple.
I think we kind of all thought that was the direction it was leaning.
Yes, exactly.
But was it the right choice, do you think? I feel like Pilar would have had more fun with Bridget.
Yeah. I do too. It's hard because we actually, well, this is jumping ahead, but so far we did not get to see much of Bridget. Like, I think the pairing with Bridget is the one we get the least of in the trial marriage. So I don't have a great understanding of like how that would have gone with Pilar. I mean, if you look at this show as like a place to really learn about a lot about yourself, I think it worked out the way it worked out.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Also, just to say, the format of the choice is so cringe. It's just like so awful that they're just like, okay, you stand up and pick, and like Kyle, stand up and say that you want Pilar. Bridget, now you stand up and you also say that you want Pilar, and now Pilar will choose. It's so awful.
Yeah, and they do that 3 times, because they do it with AJ, they do it with Pilar, and they do it with Mel, and it's like, oof, it must be feeling great to be the one who gets to make the choice.
Yeah,
right.
But for everyone else, it's like, wow, it's like being the last person picked. Oh, it's so terrible.
Peeking behind the curtain, is there a world where they do just go in order? And everyone is saying it, and it's not concentrated in the way that it's edited.
I feel like at one of the seasons, like, it was very clear they all like lined up and picked. But do you think that this is it? Or I assume that they have to tell production, like, here's who my choices are, so they know how to stack it.
Yeah. I mean, it's so not a coincidence that that like this is how it happened,
because they didn't do that last season.
Right. I guess, I mean, theoretically, they could have filmed all of them and then they just like cut it together that it's like that. But it's just like would make maximum drama in the situation as well to do it that way. So I just feel like reality TV producers gonna reality TV produce,
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like, let's not forget, these are the same people that do Love is Blind.
Right.
Yeah.
And Married at First Sight. So Haley and Megan pick each other. That was a given.
Yep.
Then we get we talked about that AJ ultimately picks Marie, which I thought was surprising in the moment, but no, I get your theory, Evvie, that it's just like, okay, like maybe this is just like the safer choice. Then Mel has a choice between Dana and Brittany. Chooses Dana. Okay. How on earth do we now have two people who have not been picked? Marita was hurt, rightfully so, with the AJ situation. Marita had already put herself in the shoes of AJ's trial wife. So she actually, it seemed like this was one of the few times it seems like someone felt like they got broken up with.
I mean, Marita, like the stuff we saw AJ was saying a lot of the same stuff to the same people, but AJ was really going in with Marita. Like we saw a lot of the reasons why Marita would have been blindsided by that by that choice. Like, you know, she's talking about all the romantic stuff she does. They're both hopeless romantics. Again, the line of, I'm so afraid of this connection. Like, it's so intense. Like that, you know. Yeah, it sucks. I felt really sad for her. That sucked.
So much so to where the point of when we get down to Mel picking, and then we have like the two leftover people. I was like, wait, who is left? It's Brittany and who? Because I forgot that Marita was not already with AJ.
Yeah.
And it took a sec to have that sit in that it's like both Marita is super hurt by AJ and AJ is Brittany's partner.
Yes.
Like that, because obviously all Marita wants to do now. I mean, if it was me, it would be like, oh my God, fuck that person. They're playing the game. Like they're just like, and then it's just like, oh, wait, that's your, you know, quote unquote ex.
It's like, oops, let's go talk about how you feel about AJ.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is very interesting that these two got paired, because I was just like, of course they're going to say yes. They're not going to walk out of this and then kind of make their partners leave too. And then, I mean, that's a real possibility actually. But I am glad that they committed to this, because they are both two people who they just came into the situation to get something out of it. As opposed to came into the situation looking for their future wife.
Yeah. It's actually kind of nice because it does that's actually much more reasonable of what they're doing, of like, okay, clearly this isn't that we're in love, but like, okay, you said you want romantic stuff. I can do that. Let's see if you actually like that when it's happening. You know,
it allows Brittany to like flex a muscle and allows Marita to see, here, let me add it up. It allows Marita to see like, oh, how would I feel if I was actually getting this in a relationship? Is this truly what I really need? Or is everything okay?
I love Brittany being like, I'm going to flex my daddy muscles. That was cool. Brittany's so hot. I mean, it's just like,
I feel like that would be like, this is almost the most fun way of going through this. You know?
You know what? I get the point of the ultimatum where you can end up with a situation like, you know, Megan and Haley, right?
Right.
But I see the benefit of this situation too, because it's like, look, you're committed to finding ways to present your best self in a relationship without the risk of it turning into anything detrimental to your current relationship.
Yep.
Which it's like, they learn so much from this trial marriage of just kind of like what they want and how they can be, like how they can receive love, because I feel like Marita is coming into her own and understanding like, okay, this is what I need to receive love. It's not a matter of like, oh, lack of effort with Ashley or whatever. I mean, it is, but it's just like, oh, this is what I need to feel like my partner like desires me, where we see that this other side of Brittany getting to flex this, like, just like she's kind of in like, the more dominant role, but not in a way that AJ sees her. Like I mentioned earlier, intimidate. I didn't even want to use intimidating, because I hate when people call Black women intimidating in that way.
No, she's confident.
She's so confident. Yeah. And I feel like in her confidence isn't like being put in a position to be shaken or whatever with Marita, because Marita is just like, oh, like, this is great. You're so awesome. Like, this is so fun. And so I feel like this pairing is so fun. It's just like, we know it's not going anywhere. We know that they're not going to get engaged. There's no way. But are they putting their full selves into this? Yes. After a slight little hiccup at the beginning.
And it's like people go into this with a couple different possible ways of handling it. You have this way, which is I'm committed to the experiment of seeing if I can learn something about myself and the way I am in a relationship in order to either benefit my ex, whatever, benefit my previous relationship, or realize that I shouldn't be with my ex. That's like option one. Option two is what we see other people doing, and we've definitely seen in the past, which is I'm committing to the experiment, heavy air quotes, by basically just pretending or whatever, truly breaking up and then just truly being single and truly being like, whether or not I think this person I'm in a trial marriage with is marriage material, they're definitely hookup material for where we're at. And then in the way they talk about it in the show of like, but I'm just embracing the experiment or whatever. And it's like, ugh, okay. That is honestly, that is a conversation that has more to do with what you and your previous partner agreed upon in the terms of this experiment, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then the other option, which we get sometimes, is the people who are like, I didn't want to be here. I want to be with my other person. And so I'm coexisting in a house with my trial person, but we're not really doing anything other than occasionally talking. But like we're not really trying to change and grow. And and those are the people who are like constantly calling and running over and trying to talk to their ex.
That's why.
Right. Well, and I think there's also the like, I wanted to maybe fall in love with someone else, but it didn't go well, and now it's awkward. Like, I think that's like how some of those situations also kind of arise. Or
exactly.
Like, yeah. I also feel like for Marita, in so many ways, this is the best case scenario because she would have been so fucking love bombed by AJ and would have just been like head over heels. And clearly AJ wasn't serious about it.
Yeah.
And like, this is actually kind of perfect where she gets someone making her dinner and like gets to feel that. And I thought that like, without it being this like she's swept up in it and it like, destroys her kind of thing that I feel like might have happened if it was the AJ situation. I really also liked. I'm sorry. Are we just going all in on Marita and Brittany now?
Yeah.
Like I really liked when they did the cocktail party. And like when they were separated, so like when Brittany was like talking about being with Marita to the group, including to Ashley, I really liked the thing that she said of just like, it's just not that hard for her to do the type of things that Marita wants. And I think I really like the way she put it. I think Brittany's probably like the best one. Like, so I just really like the way that she put it, where she was just like, yeah, like sometimes you're incompatible in like it wasn't that much work for me. So if it's so much work for you, that is just like a big mismatch that like actually you don't need that. Like there's someone that would need different stuff. I don't know. I kind of like that.
And it's something that I know I've mentioned on podcasts before, but not this one, so I get to say it again, which is when it comes to love languages, there's the love that you want to receive. There's the love that your partner wants to receive. And then there's the love that you feel comfortable giving, which is not the same thing. You could have a partner who really, really, really loves, what's one of them? Gift giving or whatever. Yeah, sure. Access
quality
service. Quality time, whichever, anyone. But like your thing is you love giving gifts, and that's very easy for you to give gifts, but they don't care about receiving gifts.
Right.
And so you might be like frustrated with why aren't they appreciating these gifts I'm giving? And they're like, yeah, because I actually don't care about that. And so you need to decide at that point, am I giving gifts for myself? Because that's what I like to do. It makes me feel good. But if they don't care about it, what do they want? And can I give it? And so if Ashley can't be romantic in the way that Marita wants and like can't do it, there's an incompatibility there. Marita could decide, okay, I'm going to choose a different way in which I would like to receive love, or Ashley can try to give love that way. But if it's uncomfortable, much like if it's uncomfortable for you to do have personal touch be the thing you're giving, but someone really needs to receive that, that's an incompatibility. And so Brittany, very clearly multi-talented, can flex this muscle with Marita, even if it's not something that Brittany is used to needing to do in a relationship, maybe.
Yeah. And I love that she expressed that to Ashley, like we're not even together and I can do this so easily. She says she wants flowers. I get her flowers.
Right. But it wasn't in a shitty way. It wasn't like, what the hell is wrong with you? It was just like, this isn't that hard for me. So like,
Right. So maybe
you
y'all should
know,
reassess.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like if it's that hard, it's just like when people like I think it's because the most obvious one is like physical touch. Like if someone really loves physical touch and the other person is just like, I just can't. Like I can't just like naturally put my arm around you or naturally hold your hand, then it's more obvious that it feels like more incompatibility. But
Right.
when it's like gift giving or acts of service is a little bit more of like, oh, like what are you at? You know, I feel like people don't value it as high, which is like there was a very strong period of time in my life that I was all in on love languages, like just all about like studying up on them. Now I'm like that with the Enneagram, but
Oh, love the
And I mean, love,
Enneagram. Oh my gosh,
right.
we can get into that.
Yeah.
and the love languages thing, like there are people who like roll their eyes at it or whatever, and I think it's, you don't need to care really about the like whatever the 5 options. No, it's like the important thing is just understanding what you really feel like you want from a relationship and what you feel comfortable giving and what your partner feels like they need. And once
Yeah.
you can understand those things and then have a conversation about it, it can definitely help, because it's like what you were just saying, Asia. People really look at the physical touch part, and I think people have a pretty good understanding that that may be a thing that some people are uncomfortable with doing, when
Mm-hmm.
whether that means PDA or to the same level or at the same speed that their partner wants. And so people have we've gotten to a point where I think people understand like that may be a thing that you both need to like have some empathy with each other on the way you're going to be able to do that. But people have less of an understanding when it comes to the other love languages about like how those things could be incompatible. If you really want to receive gifts and you're like, it's just so easy, why can't they just give that? But if it's really unnatural for you to like know what your partner might want, and love languages are so frustrating, because for someone, you don't, part of what you want is to not have to ask for it,
Right.
right? You want to
Yeah.
just be able to receive it. And it feels like, well, if I have to ask for you to buy me flowers,
It doesn't
then
mean as much.
it doesn't mean as much, which, if you're having to do that every time, then yeah, it's not
Right.
great.
Yeah.
But like,
There's
don't
a
be
period
afraid
of
to have
learning
the
first.
conversation at the beginning to learn about it.
Yeah.
Right.
What's your Enneagram, Evvie?
I'm a 2 with a 3 wing, which is
Mm.
the helper, but with the 3 wing, it's the entertainer. And I think
Yes.
that's really just the most spot on for me. If people haven't heard, a couple of years ago, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, Chappelle and Rob did an amazing podcast about
They
the
did.
Enneagram. It was
Mhm.
so good. What are you, Asia?
I'm a 7 wing 8.
Oh.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Cool, cool,
Mary, do
cool.
you know yours?
I know my primary one. I don't know the
Yeah.
wing. I am primarily a 1, the perfectionist
Nice.
is
Uh-huh,
what I
uh-huh.
have, but I've taken it 3 times and it's changed every time I've taken it. So I've written that
Interesting.
down. The most recent
What
time I took
yeah.
it in 2024, I got a 1, but the previous time I got a 7, and the previous time before that I got a 2. So who
Right.
knows?
Interesting. Interesting. Well, I bet
I
that
think
means
you
you're a
Error.
grow and
1
change.
I think that means
Yeah.
you're a 1 because I think 1s integrate to 7s, and then, like, you could be, like, a 1 with a 2 wing with a 7 integration. Okay, we're losing
Yeah.
people,
No,
but
it
this is
does.
our
Yes.
astrology, okay?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the last thing that we can't forget with Brittany and Marita is Brittany scared me a little bit going and sneaking out and seeing AJ in
Oh,
the middle of
yes.
the night. I was like,
Yes.
uh-oh. But from AJ's point of view, they just needed to have a couple of conversations and then
This
they
was
could commit to their trial marriage.
Okay, this is my favorite part about the show is that they let them do stuff like that and let them use
Yeah.
their freaking Instagrams and stuff, which comes up
Yes.
later, and then they have
Yes.
their phones. Like, that is just such a fun little piece of mess opportunity.
I
It
like
was
that it's real. Like
yeah,
that would,
yeah, no,
Mhm.
100%. Should we I mean, I feel like I have a lot more to say about that in the regards of the AJ Maria situation, or no, Mary. Wait, what's her name? Marie.
Marie?
There
AJ
is
and
no
Marie.
Mary,
There is
actually.
no Mary. You're Mary, and
Yes.
there's only a Mary here. Marie, like, but in the case of these guys, it's like it seems like Brittany did do something a little shady. She was like, I don't know if Marita knows. It's like, why wouldn't you just tell her? Like, if you're
Yeah.
not even like dating,
Right.
actually, why would you just
Yeah.
tell her? So they were both being kind of shady about that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Didn't
A
love
little
it.
bit.
Didn't love it. What? Didn't love it.
Right.
Yeah.
But this was one of our like breath of like anytime they would come on the screen, I'm like, whew, okay. We could take a breather from the drama for a second before we gear right up. But another couple like we kind of have gotten into a little bit is AJ and Marie. So
the biggest drop off in drama of all time.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it felt like, oh, AJ was came off so strong in the dating portion. Okay, AJ's gonna be whispering sweet. AJ is a love liability. Like we don't know what's gonna happen. And soon enough, all we were doing were getting scenes of Marie. No AJ. AJ has gone off and seen Brittany, then was just nowhere to be found, and then came in just to be Marie's support system.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I mean, it's a little unclear the order, but it seems like when AJ told Marie about the like multiple times of like sneaking off to see Brittany, Marie really shut down in that. I mean, maybe she was already shut down of worrying about Mel, but it seems like she was really like, cool, that's fine, but it was not fine at all, which was also like, why wouldn't you just actually say something? Like, it, like, because then it leads into that, like, AJ is like, I wish you like cared about this more. And it's like, it's not that she didn't care, it's that you screwed her over and she's like not into, like, you know what I mean? She's like hurt. And then she's over it. You know, I don't know. Combined with the fact of the previous, like already all the mess happening at the choice ceremony, it like makes total sense when she's like, oh shoot, I was defending this person, but they just did the same thing to me, whatever. You know? But yes, huge drop off.
Yeah. It just felt like I mean, the biggest, like, I guess, not so much drama, but biggest part of their trial marriage was when Marie was feeling really alone, and she was like she just felt like she had nobody. Mel was not present, and then, or obviously, and then AJ also was not in this trial marriage. Was Marie also a part? Yes. So there's this big debacle of Dana and Mel hanging out at the pool. Okay. There's shots.
Something that you wouldn't think would be the biggest deal, but ends up being like a huge plot line in the episode.
Another amazing thing, keeping them all in the same building, letting them use the pool at the same time. Kudos to the producer that said, yes, you guys should go in the pool. I'm going to bring these guys in at the same time. Really well orchestrated to cause a lot of drama. That honestly felt like a moment from Temptation Island, if people are watching that.
Yeah.
Like where it's like everyone, like both Marie and Megan just got like a 1 second shot of them at the pool, and it like catapulted them into like a whole different mental state. That really,
My mom was like, they should have picked a more private location to hang out.
Right. They would. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But from this angle, Marie saw them at the pool, and Mel did not make eye contact with her whatsoever.
Yeah. Bad move, Mel. Not smart,
right?
Mel.
What the heck? So that put a bad taste in her mouth. Then you got AJ and her. She says they're not aligned on anything. So they were in this position where they just had to get in a better place. Not so much a place of, oh, we could potentially be together, but at least just like good friends.
Yeah. And Marie really opened up about like her, you know, her the history with her mom dying of suicide, and just like how intense that is, and like how, you know, obviously that impacts so many of her relationships. So it was really, I mean, Marie was going through something. Like when we got that scene of her like dancing with her cat, I was like, oh my God, poor Marie. Get this woman out of here, you know?
I know.
Yeah, this felt like the issues Marie was having with the whole AJ situation, with talking with Brittany, and then everything with Mel, seemed like it dug up a lot of stuff for Marie in general.
Yeah.
I do feel like, you know, they were able to have a really good conversation after it. But yeah, I think that the biggest drop off was going into it from last episode. I would have really thought, oh, this is one of the couples that we're gonna like. They're gonna have a lot of chemistry and drama. And as it turned out, it just kind of sizzled.
Fell flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, which is the goal. That's like what you want, right? But I mean, it's up
Who's
for
we?
debate. True.
Not me.
It's usually, yeah. I don't think I'm ever rooting for an original couple on the show.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
Never. I'd say there's one that I'm still a little bit rooting for, but we'll see.
No.
Okay.
Maybe
I'm
two.
certainly
Maybe
not
two.
hoping that Marie and Mel end up together. I'll
It's
tell you
not
much.
that one. I
It's
can tell you that's
that
not the
one.
couple I'm rooting
Right.
for.
Yeah.
We still have drama from the cocktail party, but we can get into that after we talk more about Mel and Dana. So let's get into them.
Mel and Dana. I mean,
Oof.
first of all, thank you both for the feast you've given us.
Yeah, I will never complain about messy content. You know, I have thoughts about you as relationship partners with your exes, but thank you. This is all I needed for my Netflix TV show.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, the pool dates of all pool dates. I believe this was the pool date.
Yep.
They talked about how Mel had eaten some gum out of Dana's mouth. I was like,
I'm sorry. I don't care how close you are. That's gross. It's sort of like how kissing I think is fine, but sharing each other's toothbrushes is just a little odd.
Totally.
You know,
No,
I know
that's
people
just
do it,
correct.
but like,
Oh,
yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's certain lines. Like, yeah, you can like, I'll drink after you, but
no one needs to be that intimate with the inside of my mouth.
yeah, we're not sharing
chew gum.
floss.
Yeah.
totally.
Like if you share floss sticks, imagine. I know.
Totally.
But it seems like they made it to that level. And then they just got very, it was just, it was very clear they were just so physically attracted to each other. It never felt that there was an emotional connection.
Right.
Oh, you think? I mean, well, do you mean real or like it's like I don't know what they're saying a lot of emotional shit to each other, you know, like in a way that I'm like, I don't know. To me, it just is giving just like extreme new relationship energy.
Yeah.
Like
honeymoon phase.
Honeymoon, where they're just both just like, and again, it's very sapphic, just like being just like, I need you in my life forever.
Yes.
I've never felt safer in my life. At one point, Dana says to her family, she's been my entire support system for 2 weeks. It's like, babe, 2 weeks is not a long time. Like
Dana talks about already being codependent on Mel and like never being out of the room and all of this, and I'm like, yikes.
Which is also
especially because isn't Mel the one who said that she didn't want someone who like worked with her? And was that what you were gonna say?
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Dana says we spend so much time together. Mel says we should spend more time together, and it's like Mel is literally the one that was like, Marie is always there. It's so annoying. Marie's always there. It's like you're
picking and choosing.
Intimacy. Yeah, exactly. You set up a situation where a person is just like completely dependent and obsessed with you, like, and like needs you in your life forever. And then you're like, this is so boring and annoying. Why is this person always here?
And now we see how Mel got this way, because I'm sure they were like this with Marie too at the beginning.
1000%. And obviously not culminating, but they got freaking matching tattoos. Like when that is like, I feel like I was talking about this with the person I'm dating, like when the person pitched we should have lesbians on the queer ultimatum on the ultimatum. I'm telling you, they're gonna get tattoos. They would get matching tattoos. Lesbians would do that in 3 weeks, I promise. And here it is.
Okay, I just want to say, I don't know how crazy this makes me sound. I would be more upset with my significant other getting a matching tattoo with someone than them literally hooking up with another person.
Yes,
I would be more upset about the matching tattoo. I'd be like, especially when they knew that I wanted to do that with them.
Oh,
that is like,
that
you've
was
hurt
crazy.
me on so many levels at this point. Like, I don't think there's coming back from that.
Like, right.
Like that is like, if you have any inkling that you're gonna stay with your partner, like that's crazy. Like for the rest of your guys' life together, you're gonna have a tattoo with Dana. Like, are you serious?
Like,
I
you're
would be
telling
upset
me
if my two siblings went and got a tattoo together and not with me. Like, I'd be
Yes.
upset if two friends. I get mad when like two of my friends are like, "Oh yeah, we hung out the other day." I'm like, "Without me?" It's like, wait, what?
right.
No.
Literally, my jaw was on the ground. And for Dana
Terrible.
to say,
So
I know
bad.
this is probably not a great idea.
Yeah. And no, I
Okay.
think Dana says, she literally went, I wrote it down. It was so funny. She was like, oh, it was so good. Okay. She said something like, oh yes. She said, this probably isn't a good idea, but I'm not really a good ideas type of person. And that's the money quote. That's where she should get
Was it Dana
tattooed.
or was it Mel? Which one of them said, like, "Oh, my previous partner wanted to do this with me"?
It was Mel, I think.
Was it Mel?
Or
That's
was it
terrible.
Dana?
I don't know.
I don't
Honestly,
know.
I'd believe it of either of them. I'm
Right.
so mad.
It's just like,
I could picture it for
okay.
Marie way more than Megan. Like, I think Marie's like, I would get a matching tattoo with Mel. You know, that's fine.
Yeah, get one of your food truck. You already share that.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be different if they like, oh, we both want a tattoo, right? Like, go
Right.
get a tattoo. But so Evvie, last season on the
Yes.
straight ultimatum, there was
Okay.
a guy who went and got
wait,
a
thank you, because I was like, didn't this just happen?
Yes,
but
he
it was
got
like,
a
but different.
tattoo. He got the same tattoo that his original girlfriend's trial marriage partner had.
What?
Yes, but then
Wait.
he tried to play it off like,
Oh no, I just always
didn't
wanted
know he
that.
had it. I always
Wait.
wanted that.
It would be like if Dana got a tattoo that Marie had.
yes.
Oh my!
Or no. It would be
God.
like if
No, that's not really.
Marie got a tattoo that Dana had.
That's what it's more like.
Yeah.
Marie got a tattoo.
This outside factor. Yes.
It's more like if someone. It's like the and the craziest thing was that guy who got the tattoo, like his trial marriage partner left, so he's just by himself, and then gets a tattoo.
Goes and gets this tattoo. He was just like crashing
It was
out.
terrible. But like, and that's the thing. When Dana was getting a tattoo, I was like, okay, if I was, gosh, who was Dana's original? Megan. If I was Megan, I'd be upset that Dana's even just getting a tattoo without me and with someone else. Like, not even like that. And then when Mel sat down to get the tattoo too, I was like, no. And it's the same. No, you
like at this point,
right?
I swear, at this point, y'all need to be calling your quote unquote ex and ending things.
Right.
This is bad. Both of you bad.
Is so permanent. But that did come after that like passionate, steamy kiss on the balcony.
Yeah.
And then they had sex.
So,
well,
can we talk about this? Because this is
you believe them?
No, of course not.
No, I don't.
Okay.
They made the most graphic noises that the show that Netflix could get away with, probably, and still technically allow it to be ambiguous. When we have other people on the show say, like, we hooked up, we went all the way, I'm just like, okay. But with the two of them denying it, well, let's just say at least Mel denying it. We don't know if Dana does or not.
No.
How did they I mean, listen, I guess they're thinking they have no proof. They got noises.
No, the proof we have is Dana walking in the apartment in another scene, ripping her shirt off.
Yeah, and then Mel running
and we're
after
seeing it all. And then Mel runs in there.
Yeah, I feel like they feel like, to me, it read like they for some reason thought they got away with it, like that there wasn't like, and we haven't gotten any bedroom footage of them, I don't think, or like not we didn't see, like, I remember last season we saw Yoli and Mal, like we saw them, sorry, no, that's Yoli and Xander, like I feel like we Xander, like, whereas like, so I feel like they thought they were like doing something sneaky, but like the sounds are quite clear. And also, not to get too graphic, but you know, this is queer sex we're talking about. It's not like, I think a lot of times with straight sex, people have very like, this is what sex is. It's when you put the penis in the vagina.
Of it.
Queer sex is all sorts of different things. Whatever produced that sound was sex, no matter what exactly, you know, just like that was sex. And like, and I really feel like from the way, so, okay, that happens. We see that happen. We know can talk about the whole. Okay, Marie. Like, Mel denies this to Marie and says, "No, we didn't," but like not emphatically. Like, it's just kind of like,
and
No.
the biggest. Okay, can we let's just talk about. We're jumping around too
we're
much.
in it. We're in it.
So we're in it. We'll talk more about it the beginning of with the Haley component, but like just to say, Marie finds out that and is told Mel and Dana have hooked up, and at this point, Marie, I think rightfully, is like, I'm not going to bed until I hear this from Mel. I'm going to straight up ask Mel, did you and Dana have sex? And Mel,
The look on AJ's face
quietly
when she heard that.
AJ was like,
I think it's fine.
yes.
He's like,
and
AJ's like, people are out here really doing that?
And AJ's like,
Right.
wait a second. So hold on. How did I not end up?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like AJ was shocked to get that information, but was not like, yeah, that's so fucked up. AJ was like, damn, I would have done that.
AJ
Yeah.
was just supportive of Marie being like, yeah, go figure this out. You should. You deserve this to know.
Right.
But when Mel heard that, and Mel's first thing that she says is, how did Haley know she doesn't even have any proof? Red flag, red
Right.
flag, red flag, red
Yes.
flag.
Right.
Before
Right.
she even said no. And then was like, no, didn't happen.
Yeah,
I
know.
can't believe she lied
No.
about it. I mean, and then I really felt like also the way then when she comes out of that scene and when Mel goes back and is talking about it with Dana, like Dana also was like, what is Haley did? She hacked
Was
the
she
computer.
spying on us?
She hacked the cameras or something. Like, what are the receipts? And then Mel is like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, it's like, I really feel like Mel is like, to me, I read it as Mel being like, you're confirming it. Shut up.
By saying that, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, maybe they don't have the footage, like, for whatever reason. Like I really felt like
if they
Mel
hacked
has
the
been
cameras and
damaged.
you didn't have sex, there would be
Right.
nothing to see.
There would be no footage to
And-
have.
And the other
Right.
thing is the reason why I literally typed in Mel lied and then I deleted it because I was like, well, I guess we don't know, because I gaslit myself into thinking maybe they
Yeah,
didn't have
no.
sex, because in the previous season, the straight version, I remember there was a couple who I wrote down like the 3 or 4 times they kissed. And then there was this whole big ordeal where
They
they
lied
claimed
about
to
it.
only kissing twice. And they were so emphatic about saying that they only kissed twice that I was like, man, I guess they didn't kiss 3 or 4 times like I wrote down. And then we find out in the reunion, it's like, yeah, they were making out all over the place.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's like, I knew
Right.
that. I knew this. Come
Yeah.
on.
Of course.
No, I will not be fooled by Mel. I
No.
will not, because you're telling me that you're being accused of sleeping with your trial marriage partner,
Right.
and your response is no.
No.
The way,
Yeah,
you should be offended that she even thinks that happened if it didn't happen.
Right.
It was just like, she's like, okay, if I just keep it cool, there's no way she could know.
And here's the thing. I don't know if I should say this. If we're already talking about it. Okay, the only way that those noises would have been made without there being sex is if one of them is not in the room, in which case Netflix, y'all are gross. Stop recording that.
Yeah, right. They were in the.
Zero
Come
chance.
on.
No,
They're
not
eating gum out of each other's mouth.
Yes.
That's sex. Yeah. Like,
That's they had sex at the
Yeah.
pool.
yeah, exactly. No, but seriously, like you said, that is not how you would respond if you were just falsely accused of that. When she goes back and tells Dana, that's not what Dana would say if they hadn't fucked. If she was like we've been doing everything we can to not fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just like it's been so hard, but we care so much about our partners. Like, that's not what anyone here was saying.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Oh, and I just was like, poor Marie,
Poor
because she
Marie.
literally was just like, okay, I'm choosing to believe Mel. I'm just gonna
She
stick beside
literally-
her.
she literally said, "Don't make me look like an idiot."
Yeah,
Like,
and
it
Mel
just-
is just like,
Then Mel goes on to get a tattoo with this woman, like
oh.
2 days later or something. Like,
You're not making it look like you didn't hook up. Stop.
It's like we ride at dawn for Marie, because I just was like, I cannot believe this. And then, or go ahead.
I was going to say, and this is why I think the way to go on this show, no matter if you're the giver or the receiver of the ultimatum, I think you need to say no holds barred, and you can do whatever you want in your trial marriage, because then at least you know there's no chance of, you can still be upset by what happens, but it's a better test of, given the license to do whatever, what did they do? And what did I want to do? Because if I'm given the license to do whatever, but I'm in a trial marriage and I go, no, I'm still trying to respect my previous partner, that tells you something about yourself. Or I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe people want to test whether or not someone's going to cheat, but like.
Right. But that's a Temptation Island type situation. Sorry, that's really, show's really on my mind today for some reason. But like
Temptation Island.
Yeah. No, but I know what you mean where it's like if you set it up that it's like the only reason I'm not hooking up with you is because of this rule that me and my
because there's a rule, right?
Then it's also like then it makes a situation where it's kind of like you versus your original partner, you know, like where it's like they're controlling me even though they're not here. Like it just like creates such a negative valence towards it. Where I think you're totally right, Mary, that if you're like start with like we're gonna do like we're going on the show, we know that's the thing that could happen. Like we would like let it not like do what feels right to do. You know what I mean? Like I just think, it's just, oh man. And if you have a rule, don't violate it. You're on a freaking TV show. You're on a Netflix TV show. Like everybody in the world is gonna see that you freaking just lied to Marie. Like it's just like,
and Marie's gonna see eventually.
Yeah,
they thought this was so airtight. Why?
No. Mel is crazy. I mean, like, also, like, she's saying to Dana, like, there's all this stuff that she says to Dana. I think she even said something to Brittany in one of the dates that it was like, I've never told that to Marie. It's like, she's out here, like, doing so many disrespectful things, like, to Marie, like, constantly.
She's never told Marie that she can't have children.
Oh my God, right. I was like, there was something big. Right.
And Dana's like, what? You've never told Marie... Never told her. What do y'all talk about besides the food truck?
Right.
Because you've been friends for years before that. I don't know.
Wild. Literally, yes, exactly. They've known each other for 10 years. That keeps coming up. That they've known each other for 10 years. They've been together, for 4 or whatever years. And it's just like, I feel like Marie is in a position where she was told AJ multiple times, I feel like I would lose everything if I weren't with Mel because of the food truck, right? And I feel like this is a situation where if she had told her the truth, Marie is in a position where now you can give her some time to find some way to forgive you, right? Like, if she's not in a position to just walk away and she's willing to give you some grace, like, okay, you just explored it or whatever, then okay. But I feel like the lying, you're going to make her look dumb. You're disrespecting her by just thinking that she is dumb enough to believe this. No. Like, what is wrong with you? You think she's never going to watch this back? You're that much in a bubble?
And it's 1,000 times more disrespectful to lie. Like 1,000 times. Yeah.
And also, I'm not really sure what Mel's plan is here because it's like, why not tell the truth if what we're seeing is true? It seems like Mel is going all in on Dana. Like, well, emotionally.
I think Mel is trying to hedge her bets. I think, and that's why I feel like she's writing that letter at the end.
Mel was like, really, multiple people wanted me at the choice, and multiple people are gonna want me at the end, and then I get to pick, and that's how it is.
Yeah,
and like towards the end of the trial marriage, she's really putting all this pressure on Dana of like, are we doing this or not? Like, I feel like she's trying to get the info of like, should I torpedo my relationship or not? Like putting it all in. Like, that's a really good sign. The only reason you wouldn't blow up your life with this person who wants to marry you is if Dana doesn't like wants to stay with Megan. Like, that's great. That'll be really healthy and good. Can't wait for the show to come out when you guys are engaged. Like, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, you're on camera. Like, this is like, it's horrible. I really feel like she's one of the most villainous. Like, this is the most villainous type of dating show behavior. I feel like it's just like so shady.
Even the audacity of Dana to pull Marie aside at the cocktail party, the givers, the Ultimatum givers cocktail party, to say, "Are you okay? Like, how's it going for you?" Marie's like, why are you talking to me? Like, there's no purpose in this.
She tells Marie, I want Mel in my life forever. Like, that should not be coming from you in this moment. Like,
and I love when Marie is like, if there's going to be a conversation about you and Mel being in each other's lives forever, I'm going to have that conversation with Mel, not with you.
Right.
I love that.
Like, stop.
I love
We're
that.
not sister wives here.
Right,
Okay. Mel is
exactly.
not ours. Don't get it twisted.
And there are people in this show who do go on to become friends. Usually the other original relationship also doesn't work out in that case. But like, if Brittany and Marita want to be friends forever, great. Sounds good. Whatever.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
you haven't crossed any lines.
Right.
But
Yeah.
even if Mel and Marie get together and everything is great, I don't think I would want my significant other to be best friends with someone they had hooked up with. And
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, I do feel like this is another sapphic trope of like immediately being like, I need you in my life forever. Like, what if we just like each other? You know,
Yeah,
what if it doesn't have
right.
to be about your life forever?
Yes. Exactly. I can't know a life without you. No,
Right.
how about you just learn what you can from this person? Keep in touch because y'all did a show together, you know, maybe. But tattoos.
The tattoos.
So
Oh,
bad.
boy.
So bad.
That goes down in the Ultimatum history. All versions of just like the biggest commitment, unless you get engaged. The biggest commitment.
It's even more permanent. Like, you know, you know, tattoo is forever. Engagement, you can take back. Oh my God.
Exactly. So these two, they were something else.
And don't even get me started. If you thought that Dana pulling Marie was bad, I also hated what Mel did to Megan of like, but Mel pulled Megan at the Ultimatum Receivers cocktail and was like, speaking as her trial wife, like, are you even trying? Like, it's just like so obnoxious and like, so like, this is my wife, not yours. Like,
yeah.
Nadia.
If my wife called needing me, I would be there for her. Like,
Right.
oh my gosh. But yeah, we did get to see that. Like Dana calls Mel and just needing her in that moment because it was like
Megan.
Yeah,
calls Megan. Oh, because they meet Dana's family.
Right.
Oh, right.
And that was kind of like a wake-up call for Dana, right? Like reminding her that Megan is her person.
Right. Well, that conversation was so interesting with her family, where it's like Dana's like, it's amazing. Mel and I are the same. We're both headstrong. We're both stubborn. We're both like it's just like all these kind of like, yeah, they are very similar, which is why this is like ratcheting it up crazy.
Yes.
And then like her family's all like, yeah, we love Megan. Like, she really balances you. Like, you know, like, you really
like we've seen
energy.
so much growth in positivity in you since you've been with Megan. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dana really, it did feel like she really had a quite big reaction out of like, oh yeah,
shoot, I am with Megan.
Yeah.
And so she calls her, and we're hearing the other side of the conversation. We're only hearing Dana's side, where she's just like, "What? Who are you?"
I was so confused by the conversation. I was like, I need to rewatch it with subtitles. I'm so confused about what was happening.
Yeah. Well, and we didn't get what Megan was saying at all. That's, I mean,
right. Yeah. So it was just in this. Yeah. It just seemed like Dana was just so caught off guard that Megan had. I felt like it was a situation of she was hearing what she wanted to hear. Because she said that Megan said, "Don't call me again. I'm blocking you."
Right.
When was it like, oh, if you keep doing this, I'm gonna have to block you? You know, there are so many ways to say it, I guess. But
well, and from Megan's side, it sounded like Megan was saying that Dana was saying like, I don't even want you in my life anymore.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening? So I don't know.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna leave, and
yeah. I mean, and it's just like one of those things where like I'm sure it's like Dana's really used to Megan always being there for her and dropping everything for her. And Megan, the last interaction, again, very Temptation Island-y. The last thing that Megan knows is that she saw her at the pool and Dana like made a weird face at her, and that's it. And it's like, why am I dropping everything to support you? Like it's just like, yeah, I do feel like we'll get to Megan, but like I think Megan is in a much better place and is not like, oh, things aren't going well for you right now. Like, you forced me to be in the show when I was crying to you that I didn't want to be in this anymore.
Yeah.
And like we signed it, we did a commitment, babe. Like
right.
Yeah.
Right. So let's pivot. We will end on Haley and Megan, but let's pivot to another couple that had only one piece of drama that I think is worth discussing. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. Kyle and Pilar.
This was a little bit of a roller coaster for me.
Yeah. Definitely felt like they were vibing, you know. There's mutual, like they can see there's a level of interest. They think they're both they are attracted to each other. But the night that they go dancing and Pilar tries to kiss Kyle on the dance floor, Kyle's like, no, I don't want to do this. Then they're leaving. Pilar goes all in, making out with Kyle. Kyle does not pull away. And then they come back and Kyle basically tries to say, like, look, I didn't want that. I set that boundary and you crossed it.
This was an interesting conversation because I feel like both of them, I related a lot with. It seemed like there were things they wanted to say and they kept like not being able to phrase it exactly right and stuff like that, because I think the truth of the matter is they were both feeling guilt over the situation. And they were both feeling guilt over, hey, we kissed, and from Kyle's side, I did it. I don't feel good about it now, and maybe I also didn't want to. And Pilar is saying, and I don't know what is true or not, but like some quotes, it takes two to tango. I'm just trying to give you what you want here, and I thought this was mutual. It kind of felt to me like Pilar was trying to cover all her bases a little bit. Doesn't want people to think she's ditching Haley, doesn't want Kyle to think she's in love with her because she's being sort of rejected here, wants to hold Kyle responsible for some of her actions, but also feels guilty about it, and then feels like her character's being attacked when Kyle is saying that Pilar is just like playing the game here. And I think it is complicated because I think all of those things can be true at the same time.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I honestly like read it pretty straightforwardly as like a consent violation in terms of the kiss. Like just because you don't pull away,
yes,
isn't like, it's like if you explicitly said I don't want to kiss and then someone kisses you, like that's bad. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And like I think what Pilar was getting at is like, yeah, they were flirting, they were cuddling. And like that still just doesn't mean, and now you should kiss me when I said don't kiss me. You know what I mean? And I think
it doesn't mean that because I did not instantly pull away,
right,
that I was
cool
okay
with
it. Yes.
Right. And like sometimes, I mean, it's like, and like, yeah, like sometimes, I mean, that's a classic thing. Also, like, it's just those situations can be complicated of what your immediate reaction is to that. Like, do you immediately pull away? Do you want to just like make it okay? Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like clearly, immediately, Kyle was feeling pretty bad about it. And like, I just felt like this was a line crossed. And like, I don't know. I feel like Kyla was being honestly quite generous about it in the discussion, like, and wasn't trying to like, I think wasn't trying to like torch Pilar or something like that, because I don't think that's how they overall feel about her. But like, I really didn't like it. And then it felt like Pilar was kind of just like drowning and like, yeah, exactly. And it's like, yes, it's true. Like it was ambiguous of like, are we going to kiss or not? But then when someone explicitly says, I don't want to do that, even if you're like still getting a vibe from them, you just like have to respect that. That's just like the rules. Like,
and we have no idea, not that this does not, I want to be clear, this does not change the consent violation. But we don't know from either of them whether or not there was drinking involved or anything that might have made previous lines seem blurrier. Again, not does not excuse the violation, but I think that Pilar jumped to feeling and wanting to be like, whoa, it's not all me. Don't make me seem like the bad guy in a defense mechanism, when probably the right thing to do is instantly apologize and try to see how you're going to move forward in this, given the fact that boundaries were crossed.
Right. Because there's a way to be like, I'm so sorry. I thought that something had changed, but clearly it hadn't.
Clearly, this is my bad.
Yeah. And then be like, I'm confused. Like, what do you want out of this? Like, are we trying to be romantic or not? Like, there's just and obviously, of course, it's like easy to say that when you're not in the like oh my God, like I'm on
Yes.
TV and I
I'm
just
on
did
TV.
yeah,
Has just
exactly.
happened. And that's why I get why Pilar acted that way. And
Right.
from my perspective, it's very easy to see like the better way to have
Mhm.
for it to have happened. But yeah, it was everything's going well. And
Yeah.
then it
Yeah.
kind of things, you know,
Well, and I
that's
feel
kind
like
of the
there
end of that.
yeah, and I feel like there were some signs like it seemed like there right in the first like I feel like there was a couple of conversations of Kyle being like, "Isn't this like weird?" and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think like they were really like they yeah, it makes sense to me that they didn't want to kiss. Like you know, like I think
Like,
like
it wasn't
we
surprising, yeah.
right,
Right.
exactly. We were seeing the evidence of like Kyle being somewhat ambiguous, and I feel like Pilar being a bit more just like gung ho. Um, yeah, I don't know. I felt sad to see how much then I feel like Kyle did a lot of apologizing for like how she reacted in the fight, which like is like good,
Yeah.
interesting growth. But I'm just like, like you know, like I don't love
Right.
that. Like
And
you
I
know, like
and if yeah. It does feel like both things can be true, that like
right,
Pilar should have taken the approach of like immediately apologizing to because of the situation and kind of like misreading it, and yeah, like the consent violation. Then there's the other part of it of Kyle like, I guess, defaulting back to how they usually handle conflict. And it like the whole, oh, were you just trying to play the game? Because Pilar was just trying to like go all in on this trial marriage, was just like, okay, that's weird, right? And so
right,
then I think the fact that they were able to come to some type of resolution, and Kyle seems pretty hard on themselves in that moment in the argument. And the fact that Pilar's like, look, let's move forward, blah, blah, blah. Then it's like, okay, that allowed Kyle to do some reflecting on conflict resolution. And I hope that allowed Pilar to do a little bit of self reflection, just in that, like, we know that Haley is her first girl relationship or girl experience. So maybe that's a situation too that like Pilar is still like learning how to navigate this. That like friendliness and flirting does not always equate physical affection.
right.
These two
And
are
when
just
you're 19, it's like, you know,
yeah.
everyone's different, you know, like
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
I
It's
just want to say to everyone out there, it's hot as fuck when you want to kiss someone and you think they want to kiss you and you're like, "Can I kiss you?" There's such a hot way to do that, and you should
yeah.
just do that, and then you don't get in these situations, okay? I've done that many times. It's a great move. Try it out. You don't get into situations like this if you just ask.
Yeah.
And like I think from a viewer perspective, it's really easy to see in a lot of those earlier conversations that Kyle was like, you know, reading between the lines. It's a lot of like, oh, isn't this weird? I don't know how I feel about this, whatever. Um and we don't we don't know was like we don't know how firm the boundaries were. Like we do see scenes
Right.
of Pilar checking and saying like, was the cuddling okay? Like we were both doing that, and Kyle being like, yeah, and everything. And so it's we don't know how everything happened. We didn't get to
Yeah.
see the dance scene. I'm going to believe Kyle when Kyle says that this was a boundary that I need to be more intentional with, but like was
Yeah.
there. um you know, I think it's a line that I think it's good that they then decided to just say, we're just going to make these more firm, and I'm gonna sleep
Yeah.
on the
They sleep
couch.
sleep
Yes.
separately. These
Yeah.
two were also the ones that had the cake analogy, where they had differences there. Like Pilar was like, okay, let's imagine you eat bad cakes all your life, then you eat one good cake. Aren't you going to want to keep eating good cakes? And Kyle's like, what? No, I'm good with the one good cake.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
it's like that just shows some fundamental differences in how they are approaching, like, I guess, relationships.
Yeah.
Um, but,
I
but
did like
also,
this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, can we acknowledge how amazing Kyle's parents are?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I
Okay,
really like
and
that. Yeah.
here we are. Kyle's mom, a
Oh, that's what you were
straight
going with.
woman who
Yeah.
could host the show because
Yep.
all of the
Yep.
amazing I wrote down like 15 lines from Kyle's mom. Like,
Mm.
I love when her parents joke about like haha, yeah, we always de-escalate conflicts. That's probably where you got it. Probably, oh, I wonder where you got that from. Kyle's mom gave her dad an ultimatum. Kyle's mom says the question isn't if you can live with them, but if you can't live without them. So cute.
That should be the tagline of the show. Like,
Yeah,
it's just really,
it's exactly what it is. Kyle's mom says is talking about Pilar and how her heart breaks for Pilar's relationship with her family. Says you need to hold forgiveness in your heart. I'm paraphrasing, and hope your parents work through it and let you know and feel that they're still loving you, but that you can't pause your life for that and everything.
That was beautiful.
I loved Kyle's mom. Did not catch what Kyle's mom's name was.
Chris.
Loved it.
Yep.
Chris is the best.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris.
She was great. So that was just like, and then it was just like it was very clear. Like Pilar is obviously talking about her relationship with her family and the fact that Kyle's mom is being so supportive and kind of giving her that motherly love. Oh, she just, it would rightfully so. Pilar cried.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else from them? Okay. Then I guess you guys may forget because there was another couple that I think got
you forget? Yeah.
solid one scene.
Yeah.
Did they just not know what to do with them?
I think they think Ashley's boring. I mean, Ashley has gotten so little.
I think Ashley thinks Ashley's boring.
Right. I do. Okay. One thing I liked about this couple is I feel like they had a really good contribution to the montage of just like fingering jokes that we got at some point.
With the pottery?
With the pottery. We just got like, and there was like them doing the pottery. There was some little fingering jokes and then cut to like Brittany and Marita and there's some creaming jokes. There was just the editors at one point. We're just like, we're going to just
having a blast.
A little gay sex, little hint montage. But yeah, these are a couple. They're there. It was really emotional, the stuff that Ashley shared about like why it's harder for her to be romantic in her history with like an abusive partner. Like that was all really fucking intense and that'll do it. Your first relationship being horrible like that, like that'll change how you relate to relationships.
Absolutely.
Similarly to the Brittany and Marita pair, I think this is another scenario where even if you're not romantically interested in the person you're paired up with, you can learn some good things about yourself. And I think Ashley could come out of this, and we don't know how Ashley and Marita are going to be when they get back together because they were both in these situations. Maybe they will come back and this will help them. But I do think Ashley could realize, wow, see how nice it is? It's a breath of fresh air is what she says, to be at a slower pace with someone who I feel like is giving me what I need right now.
Yeah.
And I wish we had seen more of both of them because I find both of them very interesting. But
they were.
I think we got what we were gonna get probably.
Yeah.
They were the perfect couple for the little transition scenes. They would find one line from one of them. And they put us out. Oh, that's it. That's all we're getting from Ashley and Bridget. Like, it sucks because it definitely would want to see more from Bridget. No offense to Ashley.
I'm sure we'll get more once Bridget and Kyle get back together.
Yes. Fingers crossed.
And
we have to.
Yeah, it just seemed nice for Ashley to have someone like it just must feel bad all the time to be like having Marita constantly being like, you're not doing enough, you don't care, like you're not expressing this way. And like it just seemed like she was like having fun sometimes and stuff and opening up. And I don't know, I liked it for her, even if the producers don't think there's enough good content.
And we can't spend more time on them than the show gave them. So
we have to
move on. No, but I do agree. I do think I even think we'll get more of Ashley when she's back with Marita.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit more like dynamic content. But last but certainly not least, these two are my favorite.
My favorite too, for sure.
There's always a couple where you're sort of like, but maybe could they?
Right. Right.
And I think it was unexpected to all parties involved.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
I think also, wait, was this? I forget who. In the first episode, we were talking about how there were people that you see the picture of them and you're not sure if you're attracted to them, but then like as they go on, or vice versa. To me, Haley has like become so attractive just from like the comment. this couple, previously I said Megan, this couple, I'm all in for it all. I really liked their vibe,
I
and
think
they're both gorgeous.
what also helps with this couple, okay, I have not lost 100% hope with Haley and Pilar. I need to see how they are when they've gotten back together. Megan should not be with Dana. I'm sorry.
Right, that's for sure.
No.
Dana's crossed too many lines. And look, I understand that we don't know what they all agreed upon. Again, clearly Marie was in the impression that Mel was not supposed to have sex with her partner. We don't know what Megan and Dana agreed on, or Pilar and Haley agreed on. I would say, given what we saw with Pilar and Kyle, maybe they had all been kind of like, do what you got to do, whatever, embrace the experience. The only thing that's a little risky about this couple is Haley bringing up everything at the thing, and I was like, Haley, you're opening you and Megan up for the same scrutiny. So as long as you're okay with that.
Well, I mean, I think this is a perfect example. It's not about like what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. Like these two have said I love you. They hooked up, quote unquote, all the way, direct quote. So it's like, but yet we love them because it seems like it's like, first of all, happening like in an organic seeming way, not
so
just like
organic.
over the top, like I'm obsessed with you, you're the safest I've ever felt in my life. It's like they talked about what they want.
The scene of Megan feeding Haley popcorn and then eating the popcorn piece off of her shirt that falls.
So
I was like, that's so cute. But why is it that I'm writing so much cute stuff with this, but the same scenes with other people, I'm like, no, I hate it. I hate it.
No, because we've seen it. Like it had like an actual foundation in like stuff that we saw, and like it just like slowly developed. And then they're not trying to be like shady and weird about it. Like Megan's like, we hooked up all the way. Sorry, I just think it's so funny.
They're not lying. They're not hiding this.
They're not hiding it.
They're not hiding it from us as the audience.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, it's nice. They see, and I think with Haley and Pilar, it's like, we can, like, they had a 10-year relationship. Like, that's never going to be, for me, I would never be like, that's a failure ever. You know what I mean? It's like, they had like a beautiful relationship for a long time of their lives. But like, it also makes sense. Like, you change a lot in your life. You're from 19 to 29. And like, the idea of like, me and Megan are actually so similar all the time. When me and Pilar, it's like always a battle. That's just like, oh, after 10 years, like, maybe there's someone better for me. I don't know. I just think that's like, that's real, you know?
They also had they had that scene where they are meeting Haley's family, and for her niece to be like, oh my gosh, like I'm like, starts crying because she's like, I love Pilar. She's like, Pilar, like, she's not going anywhere. Okay. Like, it seemed like no matter what happens, if she ends up with Megan or she ends up with Pilar, Pilar is still a part of her life because she's been a part of her life for the past 10 years. And her niece, she's been a part of her life pretty much her whole life, however old she is.
Right. I would say Haley's sister as the runner-up for family member that could be a host of this show. Like, I feel like she was asking really intense questions also. And quite probing. But I don't know. They're just being real. Like, Haley's answer to that was so real. Like, Pilar will always be my life. We were together for 10 years. Like, you know.
It's these two just they felt very authentic. It felt like they were naturally getting to know each other. They're naturally
love bombing.
There was no love bombing. They were just genuinely just, you know, I guess, falling in love because they just were committing to the process. You know, it would be like if Brittany and Marita actually like had feelings for each other and were attracted to each other. These two just, you know, ultimately go all the way, ultimately say, I love you, and like are on the same page, starts crying when it's time to separate because they feel like they're going through an actual breakup. I don't know. I just felt like Megan tried so hard to not go all in on this, but just, you know, Dana left her no choice. So she did go all in. She was vulnerable. And this is what happened.
Yeah. And when they said, I love you, I loved it. I feel like I don't know. It just seemed real. It just seemed real.
Yeah. It did. I don't know. Because I mean, I'm sure there are some critics out there that are like, they did the same thing. It's all, like you said, it's all about how you do it.
But
Yeah.
and we'll see, because if Dana comes back to Megan and has any sort of attitude of, well, I was allowed to do that, but not you,
Right.
like that would be one thing.
Yeah.
We'll see. And maybe they didn't. Maybe they all thought this was agreed upon.
Yeah.
We see at the very end when we, get a tease of what's going to happen in the changeover. I believe it's Pilar who says, I'm worried now that while I may now be ready for marriage, Haley may have decided to do that with someone else, basically.
Yeah, that was another evil editor thing. Like it went from them, it literally was like Haley was like, I love you to Megan, and the next clip was like Pilar being like, I would hate if Haley was in love with someone else.
Yeah.
Right. The question is, do they admit, which it seems like they are willing to admit that they've had sex, but do they admit that they have said I love you?
Right. We'll find out.
Well, I know. Yeah.
It is true that Haley is a bit of a shit stirrer, though. Like how did that occur? How did we get Haley doing that? I mean, once again, reality TV producers gonna reality TV produce. Like, I do feel that it's very possible that someone was like, Haley, don't you owe it to Marie to tell her what you know? It's like, so that seems likely. But how did she know?
Right.
Well, yeah.
What does she know?
What does she know? How did she know? Did she just guess? She says she's got a lot of receipts.
Right. Well, and then, I mean, I guess, and then it was revealed at the changeover table that there's a lot of Instagram being happening.
Yes. So, so at the changeover, specifically with Haley and Megan, and they weren't even talking about them. They were talking about Kyle and Pilar.
Yep.
And it was just that Pilar said, well, Haley posted on Instagram on her story, sometimes you want to disappear just so you can be found. And then Haley's like, oh, if you want to talk about Instagram, you put heart eyes on a picture of Kyle on your story. And then
and then
Bridget's like, I didn't even know about that. And so we're like, whoa.
Yep.
That was funny.
I love it. Let them use Instagram. I'm like, this is great. Like,
right. Let's see what, and then also, well, okay, before the changeover, can we, like, was it just a coincidence that all the givers chose receivers? They were matched up.
That was crazy, right?
It was wild that happened. I don't think it was a requirement. I think
every giver is with a receiver.
Yes.
And
I was wondering how it worked out. I was like, how are these cocktail parties so perfect? And then it's like, oh yeah, because that's just what happened. But that definitely didn't happen last season. So I don't know if it seems like that was just a coincidence.
I think it's just coincidence.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were juicy. We already dived into that. But then at the changeover, we get to see like Marita and Brittany say what they learned. That's great, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, that was crazy when it seemed like AJ was legitimately like, Brittany violated my boundaries by
oxtails,
making oxtail for Marita. Which again, I feel like that's like obviously so much less permanent, but it's like in the same genre of like if one of the people just got a tattoo with the other person there, and you're like, that's supposed to be what I'm doing. Like I feel like if the oxtail is like the special meal, like
I have no way of knowing if that was AJ making a joke or like if that was legit, because it felt legit.
It felt legit.
Oxtails are delicious. Really legit.
Yeah.
It felt like she was fake mad, but like, come on, why would you make her oxtails? Like, you make me oxtails, that type of thing,
right?
Like, you can't go without saying,
right.
And then they talk about Ashley and Bridget, and it was just like, I thought it was very important that they showed Bridget saying that Ashley always considers her and checks on her before she leaves, because we found out that Kyle always likes to leave without notice.
Right.
So that was interesting.
And I kind of like Bridget kind of standing up for Ashley in the Ashley Marita situation of just kind of being like, you know, I know that Ashley knows about like the stuff that she could do better, but it's like, what could you do better? You know, like,
Yeah.
but it was also definitely out of line, but I liked it.
Yeah.
Right. But we end this episode 6, on Megan saying, "Oh, we're authentic. We'll tell you everything you want to know.
Right.
Oh, please do. Can't wait
Right.
to see."
Right.
I
Right.
hope.
more.
I hope.
Oh my
Right.
gosh. So such a good drop. This is such a good season. Never
It's so
doubted it.
good.
Yeah. These people are wild. We will be back to talk about episodes 7 through 10. They are out already on Netflix. So if you haven't already, go binge them, and we will be back to wrap up this season to talk about episodes 7 through 10. It's been such a good season. But yes, make sure that you go subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed. Make sure you subscribe to the RHAP YouTube channel. Evvie, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Evvie Jag, and on TikTok with the account name at TikTok. You can find me on Altoid at with the Instagram account Evvie from Survivor. The TikTok, you get it. You find me. Oh my God. I feel like I fucked this up last time too. Whatever, you'll find me. And please, if you're listening to this, you'll probably enjoy listening to The Pride Has Spoken, which is a podcast that I do every summer with Matt Scott and Grace Leader, interviewing queer and other LGBTQIA plus identities of Survivor players. We had a fantastic season. Our last episode of the season just finished, where we had Parvati Shallow, which was so exciting. So please go back and listen to those interviews. Listen to our first episode of the season where we had Aysha, which was so fun. And you can still buy Pride Has Spoken merch on the Rob is a Podcast merch store. And we're encouraging people. It's no longer an active fundraiser for the Trevor Project, but anyone listening to this, the Trevor Project is a suicide hotline and crisis hotline for LGBTQ plus youth. And that's like being cut by the federal government because we live in a really great timeline. And so please, if you're listening to this, I encourage you to donate to that. That's what I got.
Speaking of TikTok, listener of this podcast, Jason Reed always calls it Tic Tac over on our podcast.
Love that.
Mary, where can people find you?
You can find me everywhere at Frail Mary, and you can check out the other show I'm covering right now on RHAP by going to weknowdestinationx.com to find the coverage of Destination X that I'm doing with Sasha, and Chappelle has filled in the last couple episodes. We've had some really great exit interviews from that show too, so make sure you check those out if you like travel shows. What about you, Aysha? Where can everyone follow you?
Yeah, y'all can follow me at Aysha like Aysha. That's AYSHA like ASIA on all platforms. I am most active on the Instagram, so come follow me there. Right now, me and Jason Reed are very active over on our Patreon, where we're talking about the show Married at First Sight. We've been doing great interviews and recapping old seasons. So go find us at patreon.com/aperfectmatchpodcast. And yeah, so excited to finish these final 4 episodes, and cannot wait to discuss them with y'all, and can't wait for y'all to talk to us as you listen to us discuss them. All right,
Yes.
we will see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.